My name is Arthur Chung. I am part of a newly formed unit tasked in researching the anomalous events that have occurred starting on. This journal is my personal record of everything that I have witnessed and will witness as part of this task unit. This is for the sake of prosperity as well as, if needed, for evidence. Now, earlier this year, on this date, multiple seismic events were recorded within the Puerto Rico Trench. This led to submarine earthquakes within the Atlantic Ocean that submerged the island of Haiti, Puerto Rico, and the Venezuelan coast. This led to an unprecedented loss of life. The week following the tragedy within the Caribbean, the strange and anomalous events would continue. NOAA and military installations would detect a sonar reading of an unknown object or organism, roughly the size of a blue whale, near the Puerto Rico Trench. The public would be informed that this particular sonar reading was nothing more than a lone blue whale that may have gotten lost due to all of the events that occurred during the tragedy within the Caribbean coast. What was not revealed to the public was that this sonar reading garnered the attention of the government, and several specialists were correlated to analyze the data that was gathered by the NOAA and military installations on what would be dubbed the UOO, the unknown organism or object. The UOO was estimated by these specialists to be moving down the coast and disappeared on the southern tip of Argentina. What was also estimated was that this particular anomaly was moving at roughly 82 miles an hour, for it disappeared from sonar roughly around a day and a half after the last reading on the southern tip of the Argentinian coast. Imagine that. This particular whatever it was the size of a blue whale, and it was moving faster than a marlin. Whatever could this thing be? This task force was formed to research all of the information that had been received about the UOO and the anomalous events that had occurred, which was next to nothing, as no one had any understanding of exactly why or what was going on. This phenomenon was one of the main reasons why this task force was formed, to be able to understand what exactly was occurring, as in the wake of the movement of the UOO, another strange occurrence was found. A newly discovered species of incredibly dangerous dinoflagellalia was discovered on the pathway of the UOO. And it was upon closer inspection by a specialist that it was discovered this species of dinoflagellalia, being quite expedient and voracious, is a subspecies of the Piphisteria piscidia in its zoospore state. The research done by our own task force marine microbiologists have revealed that this subspecies does in fact release a toxin that attacks the elastin cells within living specimens that are vertebrates, as elastin is only found in vertebrates. And this breaking down process is how they feed. Within human subjects, though, it will cause a myriad of symptoms, and it is able to be absorbed through mere skin contact. In human subjects, exposure to this toxin can lead to symptoms that include, but are not limited to, hives, lesions, bleeding pustules on the surface of the skin, intensive bruising and sensitivity of muscles and the skin, internal bleeding, psychosis, subdural bleeding, bleeding from the ears, mouth, and eyes, organ failure, and death. It has been estimated that the Caribbean crisis has caused over 40 million deaths, along with 10 million cases of Piphisteria poisoning that have been reported. And of those 10 million, 9 million have died. Survivors of this Pfisteria poisoning have been left completely debilitated and disfigured. Following the reports of these cases of poisoning that happened in a matter of days, there were also reports of millions of dead fish found within the waters of the Caribbean and the coast of Argentina. It is due to the events that have occurred and the number of deaths that have occurred that the Argentinian government has declared a nationwide state of crisis, and no one is allowed in the waters at this moment. This task force was haphazardly put together in a matter of hours, and many of the people here have no field experience. But we are doing our best to answer the questions. What is the UOO? What correlation does it have to the bloom of these dangerous dinoflagellates? What does it have to do with the events that occurred within the Puerto Rico Trench? Where is the UOO now? These are the questions that we need to answer. Currently, we are awaiting the information from any other oceanic research facility about movement of the UOO, if there was any other sonar readings at the time. So far from what we have received, there has been nothing. My task as of now is to find an eyewitness to the movement events of the UOO, but sadly that seems to be impossible. Everyone that was in the vicinity of that area has fallen ill to Pfisteria poisoning, and the majority of them are either dead or unable to answer my questions. Humanity is facing a crisis unlike anything it's ever faced before, a loss of life at a level that is unprecedented. I fear for the future. I fear that the answers that we seek will lead to even more terrible questions. But I will do what I need to do to find the answers. This is Arthur Jung, signing off.